The View's post-election analysis led to a heated co-host clash for the second day in a row. Former Donald Trump employee and Republican panelist Alyssa Farah Griffin kicked off Friday's live show by again attempting to estimate Democratic shortcomings leading up to Election Day, citing a lack of connection to issues facing working-class Americans in favor of focusing on issues like the war in Ukraine. The 35-year-old said there is so much room for self-reflection in the left-leaning party, and that every time Joe Biden bragged about how good the economy is, another vote of someone struggling went to Donald Trump, as she's done since the results of the election were first revealed. Legal expert Sunny Hostin said she'd like to reframe the conversation and shift blame to bigger social issues in the country at large. The more relevant question is, what is wrong with America? What is wrong with our country that the Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate who is an insurrectionist, who is an election denier, who is a twice-impeached, 34-count convicted felon, said Hostin, 56. What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny, over a message of inclusiveness, a message for the people, by the people, of the people? That's what the problem is. It's the Republican Party. Griffin then pointed out to Hostin that Trump not only triumphed in the electoral tally, but also won the popular vote. Well then, what's wrong with America? Hostin replied, prompting Joy Behar, 82, to point out Democrats' work in implementing Obamacare, fighting to protect Medicaid, and more, all of which, she said, indicate a willingness to protect blue-collar people in the United States. Joy, it's condescending. The way that the left speaks to its voters, it really is. Panelist Sarah Haynes, 47, added, taking issue with Democrats' messaging. Hostin jumped in to ask, the message of joy and inclusiveness? And Haynes pushed back, stating, no, the message of not being educated, being dumb, and asking what's wrong with America. Behar asked Haynes who endorsed a message like that, with Griffin throwing up her hands and laughing as she said, Sonny just did. Haynes continued, stressing, my point is, I don't blame Joe Biden, I don't blame Kamala Harris. Go back as far as you want. I blame a messaging within the Democratic Party. Though Hostin cut her off to ask, you don't blame the Republican Party at all? Haynes grew visibly annoyed, throwing her hand out and saying, can I just finish my point, please? Before looking upward to say, I obviously have a problem. Everyone has a problem with Donald Trump, and urging that those who voted for Harris need to be introspective about why her campaign didn't work and resonate with voters in the end. She later said that rural voters screamed and screamed and screamed about their issues and ultimately didn't vote for Trump because he's a racist or a misogynist. They voted because they needed help in their everyday lives. Hostin raised her point once again. A country that allows the environment to be ravaged, its children to be shot, its wealth to be hoarded, its workers to be exploited, its poor to starve, its cops to murder, is a country in trouble. Griffin spoke over Hostin, asking, so you think America is the problem? A sentiment echoed again by Haynes when she asked, so America is the problem and voters are the problem? Behar, filling in as moderator in Whoopi Goldberg's absence, finally took control of the discussion and told her colleagues to pause until the next segment. Though, when the show returned, the conversation had cooled in favor of a calmer exchange. Friday's heated debate came one day after Griffin snapped after Hostin said misogyny was to blame for Latinos voting for Trump in certain southern districts. No, it's on the border, Griffin exclaimed on Thursday. The border crisis is on their doorstep, and they were begging people to care about it for years, and we need to take some lessons. The View airs weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time on ABC.